The surrender is a spiritual practice or spiritual way. In the surrender, his behavior becomes abnormal for the society. People think that he is self-centered and isolated from society. He is different from the society. He is absorbed himself. He is separate. Is that what you are asking the question? Is that question correct?
Yes.
My understanding correct?
Yes, this is right. I would like to add something more to make it very clear for you to unambiguously give the answer. What I mean by surrender is that it is total devotion to the Almighty in such a way that most of the time that person is in tears, that person is crying, and this crying is nothing else but devotion to the Almighty, and that person is in a state of bliss himself. But people, onlookers, they think that this is some other problem. That is my question.
Okay, so your question has two parts, Dr. Vipinji. First part is surrender and living in the society. Second part is surrender and devotion, which is in being in tears and devotion. Okay, so the question has two dimensions: surrender and what we call as devotion. I'm splitting the question into two parts. So first, let me make my understanding much more clearer to you, clearer to everybody. This spirituality is a very, very vast subject. People interpret in different ways, different dimensions. Let me define the word surrender much more simple way, that Ripin. Okay, because it's too many variety of interpretations possible. Surrender means surrendering what?
Surrender, according to me, in my opinion, means surrendering oneself, surrendering the ego, and total annihilation of the ego, and to such an extent that the person who is surrendering does not exist anymore.
Correct. So the surrender is told in a very practical terms in scriptures. We have three aspects of us: kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and jnatrutva. Doership, enjoyment, and knowership. Kartrutva means doership, bhoktrutva means enjoyership, and knowership. Aham karta, aham bhokta, aham jnata. These are three dimensions of our life. So surrender is defined in terms of dropping these kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and jnatrutva. That means dropping the ego. So this ego has three aspects: knowership, enjoyership, and doership. Kartrutva, bhoktrutva, and jnatrutva. Now, where does kartrutva comes? Kartrutva comes from understanding I am the body. Bhoktrutva comes from the understanding I am the mind. Jnatrutva comes from the understanding I am the intellect. The body, mind, intellect identification is called ego. It's also called kartrutva, bhoktrutva, jnatrutva. Dropping these one by one or together is called surrender. So for that, the total surrender involves karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Doing action, not getting attached to the result, is first level of surrender. Doing actions without getting attached to the results. I have to do action. Not running away from action is not surrender. Actions in accordance with your duties and dharma you have to perform. But do not get attached to the fruits of action. This is called karmanye vadikaraste. When you don't get attached to fruits of action, so when you do dharma consciously, consistently, you follow your dharma, you have to act. So Krishna teaches Arjuna, act, but without attachment. So that is first level of dropping attachment to the fruits of action. So then when you drop attachment to fruits of action, what happens to you? So Arjuna is in a war field. He can win the war, he can lose the war. He can die or he can kill somebody. But he's working for dharma. And in war field, nothing is guaranteed. In life, nothing is guaranteed. In any of our life, nothing is guaranteed in life. Anything can happen to anybody. Just now I was hearing one of my friends, one of person sitting near, my host told me his friend's story. A 55-year-old man going in the airport just collapsed. Heart stopped. No disease. Well, healthy man. Fortunately for him, the doctors were there. They revived him. So anything can happen to anybody. Whatever you do, results can be anything. Favorable, unfavorable. The result is not a problem. Doing dharma is important. So in that, when you do that, when you don't attach the result, your mind is, what way happens is, bhoktrutva goes. Enjoyership goes. Bhoktrutva, I'm identifying with mind. Oh, I got this result, I'm happy. I got this unfavorable result, I'm depressed. Oh, this problem came me. This is challenge came me. This person told me this. That person told me this. All those things will go. So you drop bhoktrutva, enjoyership. So for that, what is told is whatever comes to you, accept it as a grace, accept it as a blessing. Because whatever comes to you, you don't have a control. Life offers challenges every minute. But we always say, this has to happen according to me. Universe doesn't happen according to you. Universe has its own logic. The universe operates based on your prarabdha karma, based on your karma, based on the functioning of the universe, which you cannot, no way we have to understand. We cannot understand. That's why Krishna says, Ma phaleshu kadachana, do not get attached to result, because whatever best you do, the results are depending on the prarabdha karma, results are depending on the universal action, which you don't have control. Accept it. So first part of surrender, we have to learn, accept what comes in our life. With equanimity, that is called surrender, first level. And the definition of that is karmanye vadikaraste. We have to do action. Don't surrender action. Okay? Ma karma phala hetur bhu. Do not stop action. Act for dharma without attached to result. And whatever comes, accept in life. This is first level of surrender. Then what we are surrendering is bhoktrutva. The enjoyership we are surrendering. Out of three, kartrutva, bhoktrutva, jnatrutva. Bhoktrutva we are dropping. And the key to drop bhoktrutva is acceptance. When you do acceptance, what happens? Our mind doesn't get agitated. Mind will be calm and peaceful. Then right actions we can do. In agitated state of mind, we cannot do right action. Acceptance is first level of surrender. Life can throw you into cold water or hot water or name or a fame or a blame or a disease. Accept it. Because for doership, body is required. And enjoyership, mind is required. So by surrendering, accepting what happens in life, you are surrendering the mind. I am not the mind happens. That's called acceptance, and surrendering of the mind is called first level of surrender. Then gradually, as you start doing, you start, as the mind becomes calm, you start realizing, I am not the doer. When I do dharmic action, I am not the doer. So that definition of surrender, Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, please chant after me. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam Sharanam Raja, Aham Tvam, Sarva Papebhyo, Mokshayishyami, Ma Shuchaha. Sharanam means surrender. After telling 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna gives the core of 18 chapters. Surrender is the core of 18 chapters. What is the meaning of surrender 18 chapters? Sarva Dharman Paritijya. So Sri Krishna has told Arjuna, follow your dharma, act without attachment to result. Now he is coming to conclusion of that dharma. What he says, Sarva Dharman Paritijya, don't drop. It's not about dropping dharma. For dharma, you have to do karma. Sarva Karman Paritijya. And what do you mean by Sarva Karman Paritijya? Dropping the sense of doership. Action without doership. Action without doership, you do. Sarva Dharman Paritijya. Then Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Surrender to me. Surrender to the self. Aham Tam Sarva Papebe Moksheshami Mashucha means I'll free you from all the papa, means papa and punya. I'll free you from all karma pala. So what happens is, first level surrender is acceptance and right action of dharma. Second level of surrender, we call action without doership. How do you action doership? Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Arjuna, you are just an instrument of the divine. So when you really do dharma, there's no doer there. Dharma is the universal action through you. There's no doership. Then what you say, God is operating through this body-mind complex. I am just an instrument. So that is called, repeat, Naham Karta, Harireva Karta. I am not the doer. God alone is the doer. This is the second level of surrender. First level of surrender is called no attachment to result. Action without attachment to result. Second level of surrender is called action without doership. But action is required. Dharmic action is required. Dharma has to operate through you. So this entire surrender business is to be done Ishwararpitam, Nechaya Kratam, Chitta Shodakam, Mukti Sadakam. All these actions are done as an offering to Ishvara, divine. Then it will become purifying, Chitta Shodaka and Mukti Sadaka. So what is surrender now? First surrender is results of action, karma phala. Whatever comes, I'll accept it. Why do you accept it? It's not, oh, I don't have a choice, I'm hopeless case, helpless case. No. Every result is a blessing in disguise. Result comes from the universe, where there is something for us to learn and improvise. So that's why you'll accept it. Not because you're helpless and hopeless. You have to learn from the universal teaching. Your results will teach you something. That is called acceptance. Second level of surrender is called doership. Now, do you have a doership? Definitely we have a doership when we do selfish action. It's for me, for my purpose. But when I do selfless action, it's not for me. It's for divine. It's for God. So actions, dharmic actions happening through me, that's called second level. And this is the crux of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter. Sarva Dharman Paritijya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Surrender is the key of Bhagavad Gita. This surrender is speaking of surrender of doership. And when you surrender doership, you are establishing Naishkarmya. So now, Jnana is very simple at that point. Chitta Shuddhi has happened. Kartatva is surrendered, means when you surrender the Kartatva, I am the body concept is surrendered. When you surrender Bhoktatva, I am the mind concept is surrendered. I am the knower concept is missing. That knower concept requires not an action, but Jnana. From a realized master, when you get Jnana, Tattvamasi, the knowership drops. I am the knowing principle, I am not a knower. I am the witness, I am not a knower. Witness is Brahman. That understanding comes. So, dropping of the surrender involves three dimensions. Bhoktatva or dropping the mind is first step. Kartatva, or dropping the doership, is the second step. And these are based on the action. And third step is through Jnana, Atma Jnana, dropping the knowership, being established in the witness, knowing, and Atma. Please understand, in any of these stages, action will happen through the body-mind complex. But the doer changes. The doer is, instead of individual doer, it's the universal doer. Ishvara functions through the body-mind complex. Is my definition of surrender clear to you, Dr. Vipin? Any questions on that?
Yes, Guruji, the definition is clear, but when we talk about surrender of Mirabai, are you trying to say that all these processes were followed? Processes
Yes.
may be all right, but when a devotee totally surrenders, he or she may not be able to know about all these different processes.
Mirabai had a guru. Mirabai was guided by guru through each stages. We have heard of only Mirabai. We have not heard of her guru. How she was guided through different stages. So Mirabai had a master who helped her to develop bhakti and detachment. This is what life of Mirabai is. Now we are bringing the other question, doctor. So the surrender definition I have told you as per Bhagavad Gita very clearly. Is that clear? We'll take up the bhakti, Mirabai or somebody.
All right.
Right? Surrender means this definition, accurate definition as per Bhagavad Gita. Am I clear?
Yes, Guruji.
So now we'll take the second aspect of surrender, a different aspect of surrender, right? So this is the type, the surrender which I have spoken from Bhagavad Gita is for all householders, for a grahastha. This is the way you have to approach surrender. Because Sri Krishna was giving teaching to Arjuna, who was a householder, grahastha. You have to approach surrender in these three stages. Surrender of enjoyment, bhoktratva, surrender of doership, and surrender of adnana. This is the process for a householder. Then there is a process for a monk. Surrender means a monk, householder life is you have to live in the world. Householder cannot run away from the world. He has to live doing dharmic action. He has to take care of himself. He has to take care of family. But this is how he develops surrender. Coming to a monk has to drop everything what he has. The job, the money, the power, the position, and he should not keep 1 rupee for tomorrow. He should not save anything. He should live day by day, every day, without possessing anything. So you have surrendered all possessing and you live completely at the mercy of Bhagavan, with the grace of Bhagavan. This is the second type of surrender, not prescribed for a householder. It's prescribed for a monk, grahastha, sannyasi. Please do not mix up this with the householder. A householder cannot do this thing, and a sannyasi should not do what householder does. For a sannyasi, drop everything what you have. Hold on to nothing, even including food for tomorrow, except 2 pieces of dress. So that is called second level of surrender. In the second level of surrender, this is the second types of surrender, which is called prescribed for a monk's lifestyle. Householder lifestyle is different from monk's lifestyle. Prescribed operations and functions for a householder is different from prescribed operations and functions for a monk. So Swami Chinmayananda's guru, he was living as a monk. He will not possess food. And he was going in Himalaya. He didn't have food for tomorrow. He was going to his ashram in Gangotri. Suddenly there was a storm. Then in that storm, he is not able to find the way. He says, Bhagavan, I am living a life of a monk. I am not possessing food for tomorrow also. I don't know how to go to ashram. As per sannyasa ashram Verma, Bhagavan will protect me. I don't know how he protect me in this thing. And he collapses. He becomes unconscious. Then suddenly he wakes up his eyes. There are people are putting water to his face and waking him up. Then he wakes up and realizes they are robbers. There are some robbers in the Himalayan area who used to rob merchants who are carrying goods on the mules, donkeys. They find that one saffron bundle is lying somewhere. They thought some merchant has dropped something, and they came and saw the monk. Then they saw they are unconscious. He woke him up and gave food. So for a monk to live moment to moment based on the grace is surrender. Not possessing anything, not holding on to anything is called surrender. Dropping family, relationships, money, possession is surrender. And living a life totally dedicated to God is called surrender for a monk. And that's very different from what we call as householder. Am I clear, sir? Second way of surrender. I'll take you bhakta way of surrender. Right?
Yes, Guruji.
Understand? So this is called, please understand, do not mix up. A householder is grahastha dharma. He has to follow these three processes which told in Krishna. He cannot go to a monk's way of surrender. A monk cannot go to grahastha's way of surrender. Am I clear? So let us take the third case, bhakta. Okay. So bhakta or a devotee, the devotion is common in all surrenders. Devotion is nothing special. If you have to do karma yoga, Ishwararpitam, Nechayakritam, you have to have love for God. The love for God is called surrender. Love for God, bhakti. Without love for God, nobody can do karma yoga. If they do karma yoga without love for God, it will become social service. Then dropping of no kartritva, also bhakti is involved. So bhakti is not a special thing. Bhakti is a part of karma yoga. Bhakti is a part of jnana yoga. Why do you know jnana yoga? You have Atma bhakti. I love myself. I want to drop ignorance. So, Dr. Vipin, there's a very wrong common understanding in the society. It's called bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, kriya yoga. Bhakti yoga chapter is there in Bhagavad Gita. That's not about bhakti yoga. All chapters in Bhagavad Gita are called yoga. Arjuna Vishada yoga. The chapter name is called yoga. Bhakti yoga is not a special branch of spiritual sadhana. Bhakti is common for everything. Bhakti means love. So when you are talking to your wife, there's a love in the background. When you're taking care of children, love is in the background. When you're doing a job, love is in the background. Similarly, when you do anything for God, either Bhagavan is in the background or Atma is in the background. That's called bhakti. Is the definition of bhakti clear, doctor?
Yes, Guruji.
Bhakti yoga is not a path according to Bhagavad Gita. People make bhakti yoga as a path. Bhakti yoga is a common to all aspects of our life. Bhakti yoga is common. Dedicate our life to God. Sannyasi has a bhakti yoga. Householder has a bhakti yoga because he is dedicating. He is doing out of love for God. Bhakti is common to us. Okay. So now there are people like Sant Tukaram. There are people like Mirabai who are more involved in devotion service. Sant Tukaram was a householder. He used to do some business. Then he used to still sing, dance in the name of God. Okay. That doesn't stop him from doing his householder duties. Same thing was there for Gora Kumbara. The Kumbara means potter. He used to sing and dance, but still make a pot. For his living as a householder, what is required, he will do. But at the same time, he'll bring the devotional joy into what he does. Singing, dancing, chanting, all these are all expressions of bhakti. That itself is not bhakti yoga. They are expressions of bhakti. Bhakti is common to all our spiritual endeavors. People show it or not, it is common to all. A Gnani has a lot of bhakti for Atma. Okay, a Karma Yogi has a lot of bhakti for Bhagavan. Bhakti Yoga do not confuse with the just singing, dancing. Out of lot of bhakti, person can do Karma Yoga. Arjuna did his warrior duty as with Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti. So there are people who are good in devotion, singing, dancing. Mirabai belongs to that category. Gora Kumbara belongs to the category. Tukaram comes to the category. They are able to sing and dance. Okay. So now, please understand, in any spirituality, there are two dimensions. One is inward and one is outward. A person completely inward cannot live in the society. That inward, complete inwardness is possible for a monk. The society will give him some food. He is outcast from the society. Whereas other people, whether it's Mirabai or Tukaram or Gorakumbar, they have to interact with society. At the same time, they have to spend devotional time. So in devotional time, they'll sing with joy, sing with dance. That's happened to many devotional services. Maybe, of course, if you are able to dedicate all your life for a devotional service, like becoming a monk in one of the ashrams, fine. But otherwise, you have to combine devotion service with householder duty. The devotion service is an expression. That expression gives joy. Now, whether expression does not make him fit in the livable in society, then he is not a householder. He becomes a monk. He cannot live in the society. That's why Mirabai finally had to live her life in the palace and sing and dance. So we can attain mukti in the householder life. We can become a monk. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, repeat after me, Loke asmin Divida nishta pura prokta mayanaga gnana yogena sankhyana karma yogena yogina. There are two lifestyles. Karma yogena yogina, a way prescribed for householders. Do your dharma with the devotion service. All karma yoga is with the devotion service only. All karma yoga is with bhakti only. Do not confuse bhakti with the puja, chanting, mantra, japa. Karma yoga is a devotion service. Finding God in everybody, doing service is called karma yoga. It's bhakti only. Sankhya yoga is becoming a monk, giving away everything. There are only two lifestyles. Now somebody is full of bhakti and he is not able to live in the society, then he has becomes a monk. Monk lifestyle. He is dedicating full time on singing and dancing. So singing and dancing is an expression of bhakti. Karma yoga is an expression of bhakti. So bhakti is common denominator for all spiritual sadhana. Bhakti yoga is not a special branch of spiritual sadhana. Is it clear to you, doctor?
Yes. Yes, Guruji.
Did I answer your question fully?
No.
Okay.
Not fully. Not fully. I was saying that the person who is totally devoted, that person is considered as suffering from a mental disease.
No.
That?
No. See, the society does not understand spiritual journey. Okay. So for my own case, I have been a professional engineer. I worked in the corporate. Okay. I do my dharma, taking care of my family, taking care of job, and spend the rest of time in meditation and spiritual sadhana. Some people in my family think that there's something wrong with this person because they can't understand inward journey. It's not just for bhakti yoga. Any spiritual practice, people don't understand how somebody can go inward. They think he's not fitting into society. I retired at the age of 54. Then my colleagues thought something is wrong with this fellow. Okay. Where I am trying to dedicate more time for the spiritual teachings. So the society lives based on efficiency and how much you earn. Society knows only how much you can earn, how much you can gain. It's outer. How much inner wealth you can gain, society cannot understand. That's why all spiritual practices ultimately the society cannot understand whether it's gentle or heavier? Are we clear?
Yes, Guruji.
Right? See, society
Yes.
knows, oh, you've got a car or a bungalow, or you have got money. Why are you sitting your time and wasting your time sitting silently in meditation? You don't have to sing it and dance. You're sitting in time in silent and meditation. Why are you doing that? Society productivity is important. Money is important. Power is important. Somebody spends time silent meditation. Okay. So they don't understand because it's non-productive according to society. But it's a productive according to inner journey that they can't understand. They measure only in terms of outer wealth. Inner wealth, they can't understand. That's why any spiritual practice becomes outcast in society, not extreme dancing and singing. Understand?
Yes.
Please understand.
Yes.
In Europe, medieval times, thousands of women were mistreated, ill-treated, and many of them were burnt also, calling them were witches. Many of them were meditators. Women as a meditator, society was not able to tolerate. They were called as witches and burnt in medieval Europe. A woman is supposed to be working, taking care of household, everything. She sitting in meditation is something. She's a witch. She doesn't have to dance and sing also. If you are not productive to society, why will society keep you? So tell me, sir. See, if you're working in a software, if you're working in a school, if you're not productive, why school will keep you? School looks productivity from you. Society looks productivity from you. Your inner journey, society doesn't give you a value. That's why all spiritual people, in some way, they are spiritual society outcasts. Am I clear?
Yes. Yes.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, Guruji. Got it.
Right? So we can live in the society without showing to the society we are spiritual. That's what I did. Right? Outer world, you be proper, karma yoga. Inner world, atma dhyana, dhyana. So don't show your dhyana to the outer world. Don't show outer world to inner world. Maintain a balance. If you are a householder, if you are not able to maintain a balance, become a monk. Am I clear?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. So the question here, who asked the question? There's a question from here, group. Anybody else has a question from Dr. Vipin's question? Anybody else has a question?
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
From Dr.
Vipin's question, you have a follow-up. Let me answer that.
So I know we talked about surrender and the two aspects of society.
Mm-hmm.
And when you surrender, right, some part of you is detachment.
Mm-hmm.
And when there is detachment, you lose passion.
No.
I know.
With detachment, you don't lose passion. That question you asked. Okay, detachment, you lose passion.
So when you lose passion, when you want to do something actionable, so to me, detachment is losing passion. When I'm doing serving the society, you need that passion. So how do you balance that passion and
okay.
action?
So there's a follow-up on Dr. Vipin's question. The question is, the detachment is a spiritual quality. Okay. In detachment, you lose passion. How do you balance detachment and serving the society? Madam, the understanding of detachment is very wrong. In spirituality, the understanding is a problem, not the real fact. Okay. So I'll tell you about detachment. What really detachment? You will give an example. You have children?
Yes.
How many?
One.
You have one child, right? So you gave birth to child in the maternity ward, hospital, or at home. You went to hospital, right?
Hospital, yeah.
So you went to the hospital. Maternity ward, one lady comes, and no lady comes to hospital without a pregnancy pain. When you go to hospital, you start crying. Oh, pain is there, pain is there, pain is there. Then the doctor is also there, lady. He sees you. She sees you. She sees, oh my God, this lady is crying, poor lady. And she also starts crying. Now, one person crying, 2% start crying. I'm also lady. This is a problem for every lady. I'm also lady. Every lady is going through suffering. Every lady has to go through pain. She is now crying. Then who will take care of you? Doctor who is supposed to take care of you, she is also crying. Okay? She is crying because she is attached to the fact that she is lady, woman. A professional doctor, lady, she doesn't consider herself woman. She focuses on her dharma. I'm a doctor. So you are crying now. Check your pulse and all. Okay, 2 hours. Make her sleep there. She doesn't even cry with you. A professional handling. So she'll make you sleep there. Another lady comes. Okay, half an hour. Take her. No. This lady comes. Immediately cesarean. Take her. The doctor doesn't cry. She is focusing on her profession, her dharma. She's not attached to the fact that she's a woman. She's completely detached from the fact that she's a woman. She's completely focusing on dharma. If she doesn't focus on the dharma, who will take care of the patients? So detachment comes with the dharma and professional duties. Okay? Detachment is not running away from duties. Detachment comes with a commitment. You're committed to your profession, committed to dharma, but detached from external factors, other factors. Not required. A doctor, woman doctor, if she's attached, I am a woman, she cannot perform a duty. She is committed to serving the patients. She is committed to performing dharma. If she is not detached, she cannot perform a dharma. So detachment comes with performing any dharma. Dharma, detachment is a factor, is a common factor underlying any duty. So, for example, you are taking care of your child. Understand? You are taking care of your child. The child cries. A mother's duty is very difficult. The toughest job in the world is mother's job. She has to take care of child, child's birth, child's growth. And when child sleeps, she has to sleep. When child wakes up, she has to wake up. So there, you are performing your role as a mother. You are detached from your needs. Right? The detachment and performing role and dharma, they go together. Detachment doesn't mean no passion. So you're detached. So when the child is crying, you'll get up. Okay. Now you're not, oh, I have to sleep. You're not attached to your normal routine. You're detached because you're performing dharma. Detachment and attachment, they are one pair. Detachment without attachment is not possible. Just detachment is not possible. Nothing is possible. Detachment as an attachment, they are a pair. They are a twin. Like everything in the world is a duality. Heat comes with the cold. Fire comes with the, light comes with the darkness. Good comes with the bad. Detach comes with the attachment. You detach from something, but attach to something, that's called real detachment. Detach from useless factors, focus attached to dharma, that's called detachment. You cannot have detachment without attachment. If you become detached without attachment, you'll become a mental case. You'll get a psychiatric patient. I don't have interest in anything. Though, whether a monk also, he is detached from the society, family, householder, but he is attached to God. That's why he's living a monk's life. A karma yogi, he is detached from his selfish needs and he does the service with a... Understand? See, basically, everything is very simple. Just give me one banana. That banana. And that pineapple, both. And the pineapple. So, attachment, we are holding on to something. Okay? Detachment is how to give up something. Just giving up banana won't work for me. I need to get something bigger. I'll hold a pineapple. That's why I give banana. When you hold on to something higher, the lower will get dropped. That is mentioned detachment. Human mind is such that if I have to drop some small, I think something bigger. Okay. That bigger if I want to hold, I'll drop this small thing. I don't mind leaving banana. So what you are holding, you have to drop. A woman doctor has to hold on to the concept that I'm a woman, I have children at home, I have a husband to take care. This she has to drop. I'm a doctor, he should hold on dharma. A monk has to hold on to I'm searching for God. He has to hold on to that, so that's why he'll drop something. Detachment always comes with the attachment, but attachment to higher. Just simple word, simple concept of detachment is not there. And attachment to higher always becomes a passionate attachment. You got it?
Yeah.
See, for example, a student is studying for IIT. Okay? Yes, IIT in India. This is a very intense exam. He has to study for 2-3 years continuously, daily, 8 hours or 10 hours a day for many years. Now, he is attached to IIT. That's why he detaches from movie, sports, video games. So, don't have a concept of detachment. Have a concept of attachment, higher. Attached to dharma, attached to God, the detachment will happen naturally. Did I answer your question?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that was the answer to the question. Detachment makes me dull. Passion is gone. On the contrary, detachment makes you more active. You will drop something which is irrelevant and focus on something is relevant. You'll get attached to the relevant and detached from the irrelevant. Have you heard of Dr. LASIK surgery? You heard? Have you heard of LASIK surgery? It's a laser. It's a surgery done to the eyes. Have you heard the story of Dr. LASIK? Dr. LASIK, he was born in West Bengal. That time, Britishers caused a man-made famine in Bengal because Bengalis were rising in revolt for freedom fight. So Britishers stopped the food supply to Bengal. Millions of people died in a man-made famine. So Dr. LASIK had 9 members family. 9 children were there in the family. Mother and father were there. The food was not there. They were poor. Then what they did, 8 members of the family gave food to one child, made him survive, and all of them died. In the family, the youngest child was made to survive. And Dr. LASIK somehow got into ship, came to America. He studied and he became a great surgeon of eye surgeon. He discovered LASIK surgery. Okay. And that was a pioneer in that. His name is LASIK. LASIK surgery became pioneer, so treatment of the eyes. Then what happened in that time of America? Lot of celebrities, film stars, Hollywood stars, politicians used to come. Means all high achievers in life. He had because of his pioneer nature, he had an opportunity to interact with the best cream in the society. Then he said one thing he noticed. He wrote a book called God Code. You can read that book, God Code. He said, one thing I noticed in life, any high achiever has one quality. It's called detachment. The high achievers, they're able to detach from everything, focus on one thing. Detachment is drop everything, focus on one thing is called detachment, not dropping everything. So he gives an example. He meets a millionaire, at that time millionaire. At that time, now it's a billionaire. Okay. The millionaire is intensely focused on work. If something is not working, he will get angry, shout at somebody. Then next moment, he completely drops, completely focus. He gets detached from what has happened, completely focus on something. Detachment and attachment. Detachment and concentration. Detachment and determination. Detachment and dharma, they go together. There's nothing called simply detachment. Even a monk is attached to God. That's why he's dropping everything. Attached to the higher, drop the lower. That's called detachment. Focus on bigger, drop the smaller. That's called detachment. Focus on dharma, drop unnecessary things. That's called detachment. And that's very intense. It is not passion. It is not passionless. It's intense. Anybody has a question on Zoom?
Hari Om Guruji, this is Lalita.
Who?
Lalita Guruji. Lalita.
Yeah, Lalita.
Yes, Guruji, for the question of the spiritual journey, what Dr. Vibhanji asked, I just wanted to add, if it is relevant, if you think it is relevant, Guruji. It is like initially I was in the same dilemma. Like if you're in a spiritual journey, how I have to interact with my family, I have to detach myself, I have to put myself in a room, listening only to the talks. Okay, that happened only until I was listening and I was doing all the sadhana. Until then, yes, I could take that more and more time for myself to understand what this self is all about. Who am I? Who am I? Asking again and again, who am I? Who am I? And later, since a couple of months, initially when I used to talk about my spiritual journey with my family, none of them were much interested. Okay, they felt it was boring. Okay, because when I tell come to the satsang, listen to the talks, they felt I was going crazy. Okay, always talking about the satsang and everything. But gradually, then when I was abiding, when I know who I am, when that vichara was getting stronger and stronger, now since couple of months when I talk to my mother, she's more into this gardening. So I know who I am, but this Lalita is interacting with her mother because she likes gardening. So I interact more with her, though I am in that Vyavaharika world, transactional world, that this Lalita is interacting with her mother because the mother is more interested in the gardening. But
Correct.
Lalita, behind the scene, knows that she's Atma, nowhere
Right.
related with what her mother and what Lalita as a daughter is doing there. So I am totally aware on how I am interacting with mother. And when coming to Lalita's sister, she's more into shopping and more into window shopping. Then I talk about the shopping and everything, but inside I know that I am not that who is doing it, but Lalita is doing with her sister. So only to convince her, only for her to be in this, to get that into the comfort zone, I will interact with her into that shopping thing. Coming
Very
to
good.
my children, I'm sitting with them. I'm trying to teach them. I'm trying to cook. But behind, I know who I am. Who I
Correct.
am. I am not involved. I don't expect them to get the grades which I expect them to do it, because I just give that time of an hour or so. Beyond that, I don't put all that my effort so that they have to win grades or they have to be on the top in what. When I cook, I put everything, but I don't expect everybody to appreciate me that you have done a wonderful cooking, because Lalita is doing her job. She will do it. And I am at behind the scene, I know who I am. So
Correct.
that is like abiding in the self and doing it
Correct.
so that we are detached and we are attached.
Correct.
Attachment is there with the self, and
Yeah.
detachment with the body mind, where you know what exactly you're doing in the transactional world, but
Very
you
good.
are attached to the self. And
Correct.
yesterday also, Guruji, I was diagnosed with SVT, where the tachycardia was like for 190 pulse rate for 1.5 hours, where I was admitted in the emergency room, where I
Mhm.
could witness everything what was going on. They were trying my ECG pulse. I was seeing how everybody in the family were getting tensed, but I was abiding in the self and just watching this drama of Lalita, what's been happening, what the prarabdha of Lalita is getting her there. And
Yes.
it was behind, it was just calm, very calm, just witnessing what was happening. So when I understand, Guji. Now, since an year, I've been listening to your talks. Now, when that is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, I understand. Yes, this was what Guruji was telling us. This was what, because this we can only experience when the actual gnana is sinking,
Yes.
understanding who we actually are and
Correct.
what is happening. Even though they took me to that angiogram, I was just witnessing, okay, Lalita is going through this, let the doctors come in, let her go. But nothing, I was not disturbed. To be frank, Guruji, a couple of years ago, the name hospital would get panic attacks.
Correct.
But yesterday, I was like very calm within, seeing all that happening, but knowing that this is all part of the game. It is a very long dream going, and I will be okay, whatever comes. Initially, the planning would go where my children will be, my husband,
Yeah.
I will leave. Nothing. I was
Yeah.
just watching. By the time they said, okay, you can go home, I was still watching. Okay, I thought, okay, the prarabdha is still there for Lalita. She's going home. So now I understand what that attachment, detachment you're talking about. The attachment to the self and detachment with this body-mind complex. The attachment
Perfect.
and so because this came up, I thought I would just share my
No,
experience
you are
there.
given a perfect example, Lata. I'm very
Hmm.
happy that you have
Hmm.
understood the essence of spirituality.
That is
Essence of spirituality is not about dance, not Rudrakshi Mala, not Nama, not singing, dancing. Essence of spirituality is God inside, work outside. God inside gives me peace. Work outside is an expression of God in the form of love. Love
yes,
for brother, love for mother, love for service, love for dharma is expression. The inner and outer has to become one. That is real spirituality. If inner is separate from outer, you will become detached and you look like as if you are lost somewhere. If outer is only focusing, you appear to be so much involved in the world. But a balance of inner and outer is real spirituality. The inner and outer has to become one. Inner reality is I am Atma, peace. The outer reality is I am love. The love translates into dharma. Whatever you do well. So that is actual real spirituality. But what we hear stories here, there, and all, we don't get the real picture. Real picture is complete balanced personality is spiritual.
yes,
Atma
Guruji. So
and service. That's why what I do for every student of mine, I'll say only one thing. Spirituality is Atmano Mokshartam Jagaditaya.
yes,
Realize yourself and do service. Realizing yourself is called peace, and doing service is called love. Develop both inner and outer. Otherwise, it becomes imbalanced. That's what is complete spirituality. Bhagavad Gita, if you look at Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya means know yourself. Then Yoga Shastra means apply, interact in the society, apply it with dharma. That's the meaning of inner and outer.
Yes, Guruji. So I was like witnessing everything. I thought, okay, the Brahman is coming in this form, treating me. The Brahman is coming as a Aya, Brahman is coming as a nurse. Okay, all this is happening. They are taking the manifestation of Brahman is going. It is all a longer dream. So I thought, okay, God gave me an opportunity to be in the hospital in the ICU so that the Nididhyasana will go for a longer time, because at home in the transactional world where I'm cooking or doing something, there is a break. But now I'm on the bed watching everything so that the Nididhyasana will take for a longer time. So this opportunity is a very golden opportunity where I have to grab and abide in the self-looking. So I thought, okay, this is what it is, what Guruji was telling.
Perfect example, perfect clarity. This is what is writing. So that's why spirituality is you should be in the world, but world should not be inside you.
Yes.
Boat has to be in water, but water should not be in the boat. If water is in the boat, it will sink. You should be in samsara, but samsara should not be in you. That's what is spiritual life.
Now I understand, Guruji. When whatever you've been telling us, when you said that, even today also, yesterday or today, because 2 days I was not able to, because I didn't have the phone, so I was not going through all that forwards, or Chandogya Upanishad also I couldn't attend for 2 days there. But when I was going through, then you said, see, any opportunity, when you look into it, is a golden opportunity. You have to just look. See, when I'm there and when I'm crying, then I have lost that opportunity. But when I'm there and I'm able to grab that opportunity to do that sadhana there, then the most of the time I was in the sadhana only, because I have nothing to do, just to do the sadhana, nothing else to do. So then I thought, okay, this is a golden opportunity which Guruji was talking about all these events.
ICU can be very good to opportunity place to sadhana. Yes. I see you. I see you, God. What better place is there to do sadhana than ICU?
Yes, Guruji. So I felt, all the time which Guruji have spent teaching this Agnani, at least some fruitful things have come up where I am grateful that Guruji, yes, your Shishya has come this far. I'm glad that your efforts you have put in had made her come this way. So I felt very, to be frank, Guruji, though I understood, I felt okay. The efforts my Guruji has put in is, I am happy for that.
Very good.
Because it is not going waste. His time is very precious, and for the time he has given us, it is not going waste. Is what I felt in Guruji. Thank you so much, Guruji. Pranams
Thank
to
you,
your
Lalita.
holy feet,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Lalita, giving a real life example.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much.
So all my life, right? I have not become a spiritual. I have not shown to me any to be anybody spiritual. I have been right from my day one, right from my younger days. Inward, I am spiritual. Outward, I do dharma properly, taking care of family, taking care of job, right? Inner and outer journey go hand in hand. They are not opposite of each other. If you say, I want to give only focus on inner journey, become a monk. Householder and monk, their lifestyles are different. Householder has a certain way of approaching spiritual journey. Are we clear?
Very nice.
We confuse reading the story of monk and all, we get confused. Oh, spirituality means this. In fact, the person sitting here in front of me from New Jersey, he reading a lot of spiritual books, he thought he has to become a sannyasi, monk. That's how he came to me. Then I told, becoming monk is not a spiritual journey. Going inwards is a spiritual journey. A couple of years back, he came to me saying that, I want to become a monk. What monk? You have one wife, thankfully one wife, and 2 children. And you want to become a monk. You have to be a householder and you have to do a spiritual journey. So people reading a lot of spiritual literature, they get vague ideas of spirituality. They start thinking this is spiritual life. Spiritual life is dharma outside, jnana inside, peace inside, action outside. That is spiritual journey. 13 years back, you came. 13 years back, he came to me. He has read a lot of books on spirituality. Oh, I am a householder. I want to become a monk. I asked him, how many children you have? 2. How many wives you have? Only 1. Okay. Then, you want to become a monk? Why? I want to do spiritual journey. Where will you be? Where will you get spirituality? Himalayas or ashrams? Go inwards. You don't have to go outside. Do your dharma and go inwards. That was 13 years back. Now he's sitting in front of me. Okay. Anybody has a question on Zoom?